Hello and welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your co-hostess who the mostest, who's still swallowing down a little bit of iced tea, is I misjudged, though lead-in time, Drusilla Adeline. Yeah, crack those cans open. We're going for it this week.
Yep. Let's have a drink. How's it going? What's up?
It's not going super hot. I've been having a very stressful, very anxiety-riddled few weeks, and it kind of came to a head this weekend, and I'm working on it. I'm very bad at self-care, but I'm trying to do my best. It's a mixture of two things. The first thing that happened was that I went to the movies, which we'll talk about later, because I saw something incredible and great. However, the opening trailers at the AMC before the movie that we saw featured the trailer for David O. Russell's new movie, Amsterdam, which I've been actively avoiding seeing any trailers for, because David O. Russell is a person who I deeply, deeply despise. For those who do not know, David O. Russell was accused by his 19-year-old transgender niece of sexual assault, of groping her breasts and genitalia at a gym in Florida in 2011. A police investigation was launched. David O. Russell freely admitted this with the defense that, come on, she was acting promiscuous towards me. And the Florida police were like, well, we weren't there and we didn't see it, so we don't have a case. This happened in 2011. It was reported on in the Chicago Tribune in 2012. It was then ignited again when the Sony leaks happened in 2014, because Sony Brass, when discussing his film American Hustle, brought it up as a reason to never work with him again. And he hasn't made a movie since Joy in 2015. But now he has a very star-studded new film with a lot of actors that I enjoy. That is being released by 20th Century Studios, which used to be Fox, which is now Disney. And I'm very upset, and being forced, unbeknownst to watch this trailer was incredibly upsetting. And then having to sit in the concept of this is a man who Hollywood is letting make movies again, and look at all of these big stars, both old and new, like Mike Myers and Robert De Niro, but also Margot Robbie and John David Washington and Christian
Taylor
Bale.
Swift, isn't it?
Well, Taylor Swift sucks, so we shouldn't be surprised. She's a
I know, I hate Taylor Swift,
a mass polluter,
even Taylor
of course.
Swift is in it.
Yeah, it's a huge cast.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, so that had me very, very upset, and I wasn't able to sleep that evening. It got me very riled and anxious and upset. And then following, I've already been anxious and having a hard time of late. And then that kind of led into the next day or so after, and caused some, trouble for me. So I'm trying to work through that, trying to work on that, doing what I can. Watching art house horror movies is something that I thought would not be a good thing to be doing in that headspace.
Yeah.
Turns out it's been very cathartic.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Well, good.
I watched a movie last night that we'll be talking about next week. That I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be a fun one to watch when I'm feeling this way. And it was really cozy. A movie that I always think is very gross and
good.
Upsetting was actually very cozy. So we'll talk. You'll realize what that is next week. But yeah,
it really can fuck you up. Something small like that, where it's just a trailer for a movie, but if you're in the wrong headspace or you have a certain lived experience, that can really fuck you up for a while, because it leads to all these bigger things that make you feel like, everybody hates me. There's no one who cares about me. The world is cruel and unkind to people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand that completely. But do know that you're loved and taken care of, and people.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you supporting and helping, and a lot of my friends being able to offer support has been a huge buoyed success. It's just it's a it's a pebble in the shoe kind of thing where like it just starts to wear down.
Right, it's not about the thing as much as it is.
I mean, it's
like,
about the thing. Disney and Fox should not be working with this man, and neither should all these actors. However,
it just opens up all of these bigger life things that you deal with all the time.
As a trans individual who lives and works in the creative industry in Los Angeles, and who makes films and who makes art for films, and who has also been the subject of sexual assault in the workplace and trans-related sexual assault in the workplace at Hollywood Entertainment Industries, of course, of course this was upset me, and of course this is a thing that should not be happening ever in the world. But of course,
I didn't know that about him until you posted it. It's so horrific. I don't like his movies, especially, but now I certainly don't. I will not be seeing them.
But it's also like he's been famously a bad person since the 90s. Like when he made Three Kings.
Was it him that got in that fight with
Lily Tomlin?
Tomlin, was that him?
Yeah. There's video footage from the set of him like screaming and berating a crew member, and she was like, "I'm not gonna fucking take that from like they don't deserve that." And then he turned it on her, and the same thing happened on Three Kings. He like was berating and fighting with lower crew members, and George Clooney, who was the star and producer on that film, was like, "You're not doing that here." And they got into a fist fight, which was like very well like publicized. Like there was lots of like late 90s like TMZ articles about like George Clooney fights like hothead director. He's like very famously not liked in the industry. So it really shocks me whenever whenever he has a movie that it's always an awards contender, and that whenever he has a movie it's always this huge ensemble cast of look at all these big talents that are coming out of the woodwork to be in this movie. It really shows my least favorite parts of this industry on display when things like this are continuing to happen. And it like, I don't know, as someone who is a creative and who wants to be making more films in Los Angeles and with people that I love, and it hurts. It hurts a lot.
If you saw this trailer before the same movie that I saw this trailer before, there's a character in the movie that I was like thinking about because I thought about your post about David O. Russell, and then there's a Hollywood character in the movie who's a terrible toxic person, and I connected the two in my head.
I don't know if we went to the same movie. I think we saw different movies, Josh.
Oh, okay.
Which we'll talk about in a minute.
You go first.
Okay, so that was the upside of the evening, is I saw an incredible fucking movie.
Great.
Released by Josh's favorite distribution company, A24, and my occasional
They're
employers.
Not my favorite, but I do love them.
You love them so much. You subscribe to A24, don't you?
I feel like I stick up for them a lot because people these days, for some inexplicable reason, are like against them all of a sudden. So I stick up for them. But go on.
As a Criterion stan, I have no room to
I love
judge.
Criterion too.
So I saw the new film from Ty West and Mia Goth, Pearl.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Pearl is the prequel film to their previous film, which came out also this year by A24, X, in which Mia Goth played a dual role as an up-and-coming porn star in a 70s kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre style film, and also as the elderly woman who lives on the farm who has a like sadistic dark past. So Pearl is about that elderly woman that Mia Goth played in 1918 during the Spanish flu epidemic, which, wow, that actually worked really well for me. It was incredible. They shot it on the same sets. They shot it like back to back, much like the Andy Warhol movies, like Dracula and Frankenstein at the time, which was so fun. Right. It is shot like a 50s MGM musical. It is like Technicolor horror, which I like normally would not say such things because I really don't buy a lot of contemporary digital filmmaking to look anything like old school movies. Like that David Fincher movie Mank, I thought looked like ass.
Yeah.
This looks gorgeous. It was shot in New Zealand, and Weta, who did all the special effects for like all the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies and King Kong and stuff, did the special effects work on this. It looks really, really beautiful. But the thing about Pearl is that it's not a slasher movie in the same way that X is. It's technically a slasher movie in that people are murdered with, like knives and axes and things like that. Sure. That's like the end of the film. And that's like a little bit. The body count on this movie is light, to say the least.
Okay.
This whole movie is about female psychosis, female mental illness, and is about this incredible central performance by Mia Goth. She puts everything into this role, and it's very obvious that like this is a role and a performance written by a woman, written by an actress who was intending to play this role, and also written out of the joy and the excitement of working on X and developing this character. It's an incredibly character-driven horror movie. There's shades of Carrie, there's shades of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. The way I've described this movie to friends is that it feels like all of those 70s hagsploitation movies, like Who Slew Auntie Roo.
I love those movies.
What's the Matter with Helen? Except instead of being about an older woman who used to be a star, it's about a young woman who wants to become a star. And like there's even like shades of Pearl's life and backstory that are really, really close to like Joan Crawford's like life and backstory before she became a star. And that's feels super intentional and fun. And this movie walks the line between being like horror, grotesque, Grand Guignol kind of stuff, while also being like really emotional, really relate, like painful. Like, it is upsetting how much you relate to Pearl in this movie. She has a monologue in this film that should be an awards contender. But it also is incredibly camp. The psychosis on display like leads into like genuine affection and care for this person, but it also leads into some like John Waters level like, holy shit, that's what we're doing. Okay. The final shot of Pearl, I think, is going to be remembered and talked about for a very long time. And it's a very strong choice, I will say. And the entire audience at the Burbank AMC was very taken aback, but very into it. And it's so much fun. I liked X. I adored Pearl.
I'm really excited to see that. I also liked X, but when the Pearl trailer dropped or the teaser dropped at the end of X, I was like, come on, I don't need this. And it looked kind of cheap to my eye at the time. Like, it just didn't look good, but now everyone's saying it's great. So now I'm super excited. And now there's going to be Maxine, which is another Ty West spinoff of this universe.
I didn't see X in the theaters. A friend loved it, bought it on Blu-ray, and had me come over and watch it. So there wasn't a Pearl like teaser at the end. So I knew nothing about Pearl until like the trailer dropped, and I was like, "Oh, whoa! They're actually doing that! Holy shit! Impressive!"
Yeah.
And it's better. It's better by a long shot. Like, I haven't seen...
I know, you texted me that. I'm really curious.
Honestly, like, my friend who loved X took me to go see Pearl, and after it, we were just, like, jaw on the floor, and we were like, when was the last time that there was, like, such... like, an entire horror movie built around a single, like, female performance that's, like, this level of, like, emotional, funny, and, like, unhinged, and, like, and the only thing we could think of was Isabella Johnny in Possession. Like, this is that level of, like, Mia Goth went for it. Ty West helped her go for it, and I honestly think, like, Pearl is one of the best examples of female-led art house horror in the past, like, 30 years, maybe. I can't think of anything else like it in recent memory. It's very bizarre. It is very different. The audiences that loved X and that loved the Paranormal Activity movies and stuff like that kind of like flock to slashers and stuff like that it's not what they expect it to be. It's not that kind of movie at all. It is closer to it's a very 70s character movie, but it is set in 1918 with a very 1950s visual aesthetic. I love it. And there's like, it plays in a lot of similar themes from X, but in different ways. And so the idea of the porn industry is like mentioned in Pearl, and they show clips from a 1915 stag film, like an actual 1950. That's like so exciting, and like I loved this movie so much. It felt like kind of tailor-made for me, and it was the most excited I've been about a Ty West movie ever after watching it. X was fine. The Sacrament was pretty good. House of the Devil's like the House of the Devil, but like for years,
I love House of the Devil.
I would always be like, my favorite Ty West movie is You're Next, because he's in it for 2 minutes. Which my friend and I watched You're Next immediately after Pearl, which was like, wow, such a good double bill.
Yeah, we love You're Next, of course. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about that now.
I think
especially
you're really
once I hear that you love it, then I'm like, okay.
I was super skeptical because like I don't think I've ever really strongly enjoyed an A24 horror movie. I think Midsummer's my favorite of the horror offerings they've put out. But like Hereditary seemed like overwrought and like great performances, but like way overhyped, and like it was doing things that other movies have done so much better. And so like
I love Hereditary and I don't agree, but go on.
That's fine. But you know, most of their stuff I've found like in the horror offerings good, not incredible, and most of the contemporary horror movies that I love, like Neon Demon and like the movie that we're going to get to here in a moment, do what I feel like people talk about A24 movies do better.
That's fair.
It wasn't until Pearl that I was like, here's one. Here we go. That's it. That's great.
Yeah. I pretty strongly feel that A24 plays a big role in rescuing horror films. And I think that the 2010s are the best horror decade since the 70s, and A24 plays a really big role in that. They're not alone, of course, but the 2000s was such a bad horror decade. And of course there are dozens of movies that are great from the 2000s, don't at me. But the 90s too are a pretty boring horror decade. So for a long time, horror got pretty blah. And if I'm being frank, I kind of have a spidey sense that it's going back to that place now. So we got 10 years of like really great, thoughtful, different sorts of arty or experimental or strange horror films, and A24 played a really big role.
That's true, they did. But they're all, I feel like I think the thing to champion a little bit more in that is actually the mumblecore movement from the late 2000s, early 2010s. They gave us people like Greta Gerwig, and unfortunately gave us people like Lena Dunham. But like that's where House of the Devil came out of. That's where Your Next came out of. And like those movies hit in like 2009, 2011. And I still think Your Next is better than most horror movies of the past like 20 years.
Well, the other criticism that I think is valid is that A24 has kind of developed a house style that they are kind of feel a lot of the times trapped in.
Listen to our Men episode to hear more on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I think that's a fair criticism. I thought you were going to say that you went and saw the movie that I saw last night, which also had,
which I'm going to guess is the movie that everyone and their mother for the past like week or so has been telling me to see.
Yes, it is Barbarian, and it fucking rules. Okay. It is a great movie. I'm loved.
Going to let you continue on this, but I want to preface this by saying the very first thing I know about Barbarian is 3 things. One, the poster is almost an exact ripoff of a poster I did a few years ago. B, one of my closest friends saw an advanced screening of it and hated it. And 3, every single time that someone comes up to me and says, "Oh my god, you need to see this movie," it makes me want to see it less. Because I am a dumb little contrarian.
I know. For me, I know you. I know your taste. and I don't know that you'll like this, but for me, this is what I was led to believe Malignant would be, but wasn't.
Oh, I hate Malignant.
So, yes, I know. And I don't like Malignant either. But this is like so well made, so surprising and strange and funny and actually scary. And just, it never is what you think it's going to be. It just surprises you at every turn. I just loved it. I loved it. I don't know. And now I feel like you won't like it. And I'm sorry to bring it up, but like, I really loved it. And I'm like you, like if everyone is saying something's good, that makes me want to see it less because I don't trust other people's taste most of the time, if I'm being completely honest. On this podcast where we've sworn not to be film snobs.
We're trying our best.
I
feel like this podcast is the closest thing to like film snob recovery. I feel like that's the aim here.
Yeah.
Which means we're allowed to slip up.
It reminded me of like, I thought of being like a 13-year-old and seeing this at a slumber party and how fun that's going to be for kids for like the next 20 years or whatever. Like watching Evil Dead at a slumber party, you know, like it has that feeling. It made me, it's actually scary and very surprising and wild. And it made me feel like sort of cozy because it made me think of like discovering really wild horror movies.
Oh, fun. As a kid. I will say one of the reasons why I haven't gone out to see it yet is because all of the people that come up to me and are like, Drew, have you seen Barbarian? You need to go see this movie called Barbarian. I won't tell you anything about it. Just go in. All the people that say that to me are not horror people.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that like are like, you're a horror person, right? You clearly must love this movie. And typically people who aren't horror movies who come to me raving about horror movies are the reason why I end up saying things like Hereditary and things like Malignant and things like Paranormal Activity, and I'm like, these suck.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Babadook when that came out. It was like,
I did like the Babadook, but I
liked it too. I liked it 3 stars worth. You know, like it was fine. It was good.
I like it more than 3 stars worth, but it's not one I would watch again. It's a very intense watch, and I hate children, which that movie also hates children, so that's fun. But it's also like, it hates children in a way that's going to let a child scream the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm not like itching to rewatch it, but I do think the Babadook is very, very, very good, and it also gave us a gay cultural landmark, and I don't know if Malignant's ever going to do that.
Exactly. I will say also in Barbarian's favor, it's filmed in Detroit, so it has a lot of that It Follows aesthetic of like old decrepit Detroit houses.
That's the other
really
one.
Fun.
It Follows was also one that everyone was like, you need to go see It Follows, and I was like, it's fine. Like,
totally,
it's okay.
Fine, but it did look beautiful. I mean, like,
It Follows does look the most like
Indiana
that I lived in than like almost any other movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well,
so anyway, that's our what's new and cool this week.
Yeah, lots of movies are out right now. Lots of horror movies are out. Like, we're like slowly stepping into that October cycle, so a lot of stuff is starting to like come into theaters. Paramount's Smile is coming out, which, don't worry, we won't be covering on this podcast.
I saw someone on Twitter, and I feel like it was somebody that I really respect, who said that it was really good. They really loved it. So I can't believe that that's true based on the trailer that I've seen before every horror movie.
No.
It looks really bad to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's not.
It looks like
stranger things have happened.
It looks like an episode of Supernatural. And that's fine. I enjoy Supernatural. However, not for me.
Right.
But like, there's a lot of really, really like great shit in theaters right now. I really want to see how they run. There's a new Fletch movie in theaters right now starring John Hamm.
How weird.
I am very excited for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in theaters right now. However, you know, be mindful. If you're seeing a movie released by Disney or by Fox, show up late. Skip the trailers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, shall we get to our movie of the day?
Yes, we should. It's also contemporary horror. Let's go.
Also contemporary art house horror. So, from 2016, directed by Olivier Assayas, starring Kristen Stewart, it's Personal Shopper.
What are you doing in Paris? I'll take it. This too.
It's 500 with that and 2,000 for each bag.
Great. I'm a personal shopper. Kira's very high profile. Hey, Kira. She can't do normal things, so I assist her.
You have nothing better to do besides dress Kira?
I'm waiting.
What are you waiting for?
My twin brother who has died here. It's been 95 days. We made this oath. Whoever died first would send the other a sign.
From the afterlife.
Ugh, it's taken us long enough. This is one of my favorite movies ever made. And it's also one of my favorite examples of contemporary art house horror, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast.
I love it. I loved it so much.
This was your first time seeing it, yes?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, so I started it when it was new on streaming back in 2016, maybe early 2017. It was with a bunch of friends at a beach house rental.
That is not how to watch this movie.
I know. And we're all, and to be fair, we're all the sort of people who would like this kind of movie. You know what I mean? I'm not with dum-dums. It's like sophisticated, cool people, maybe 5 or 6 of us who were at this beach house for the weekend. But after like a long day in the sun, we came in and we're like, let's rent a movie. And so we rented Personal Shopper, which is a beautiful, perfect movie, but is entirely too slow to watch in a group after a long day on a hot beach. So literally every single one of us fell asleep. But I don't mean that as slander. I was enjoying the movie. I thought it was cool. And I just never got the chance to go back and watch it properly until now. And I absolutely loved it. Loved
This was one that, so it came out in 2016 internationally. It came out in the US in 2017. And so, like March of 2017. And that's like a really important, like weird little like bug moment in my life. Because like March of 2017 is around the time that I first started taking hormone therapy. And like I had recently I'd come out like less than 6 months beforehand, significantly less. And it was like starting to see the world in a way that I wanted to see it, right? Yeah. Starting to see like myself and starting to like, you know, make part of my brain that had been like hidden and like shoved down for years and years and years finally to like take over. And it was very joyous and very exciting, while also being in a really shitty apartment and job and living situation in life. So like it was a very interesting transitional time, and I was watching a lot of movies. And I love me some K-Stew. This was like one of the first like post-Twilight like image rehab films for her.
And you're a Twilight stan anyway, though, right? Like you liked Twilight as a kid?
I never saw it as a kid. I didn't see Twilight until after Personal Shopper.
Oh, so you saw Twilight because you loved her in these kinds of movies?
Yeah, because I just love her. The thing that made me fall in love with her was the Runaways movie.
Yes, she was great.
She's incredible. When I heard that like Joan Jett specifically picked her to play herself, I was like, well, lesbian sees lesbian. Got it. Perfect. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I saw that in like high school or something and loved it, and I've always been a fan of her since then. A friend of mine is a huge Twilight stan, and when we ended up living together in like 2018, we got very high and watched the Twilight movies in like a weekend, and I loved that. Yeah. I'm a big fan. This is coming on the tails of Clouds of Sils Maria, which was also directed by Olivier Zayas, which was created kind of as a project for Juliette Binoche, because Binoche had worked with him years before on Summer Hours, and kind of complained to him that there weren't enough movies being made contemporarily about female characters and from the perspective of female characters. And so he was like, good point. And so he clearly rewatched Persona and was like, what if we did something like that? And then we got Kristen Stewart and Chloe Grace Moretz and made Clouds of Sils Maria. And I loved Clouds of Sils Maria. I probably saw it also like rental and streaming, because I mean at this time, even living in Los Angeles, some of these movies were hard to catch in theaters because they'd be released by IFC or whomever, and they would get like a week in a Lemley in like Santa Clarita, and you're like, oh, missed it. Oops.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they would get a Criterion release and you go buy it like for $20 later in life and be like, I hope this is good. And so like immediately after, they make Personal Shopper just as a project, as a vehicle for Kristen Stewart, because he got along with her so much. And as soon as I was like, oh, she's doing another project with him. Cool. I'm gonna see that. That's gonna be fun. It's a horror film. It's a ghost movie. It's also a thriller. Oh, I'm gonna like this a lot. What I did not anticipate was that, because I was very early in transition and starting to see everything around me through new eyes, I related to Personal Shopper as a trans narrative very heavily.
Interesting.
And had a very unique experience of watching it, of being very terrified in a way that a lot of horror movies don't scare me, especially ghost movies, like Mungo aside. And then just bawling with tears. I cried through Personal Shopper as much as I like gasped and closed my eyes the first time I saw it. Yeah. And that was a new experience for me. I'd never seen a horror movie that like both actually genuinely very scared me and also like had a strong emotional reaction and had me like crying in my seat.
Yeah.
So this holds a very, very, very special place in my heart, and I love it so much. But I also look back and I'm like, ooh, yeah, she was on a lot of estrogen. Watching this movie, little baby Tran Drew.
So in terms of synopsis, Kristen Stewart plays a young personal shopper, as the title suggests, named Maureen, who's living in Paris, and she works for a fabulously wealthy supermodel and philanthropist named Kira. But also, Kristen Stewart's character also happens to be a medium, meaning that she senses or sees ghosts. And part of why she's in Paris and doing this job is that her twin brother, Louis, lived in Paris and has died within the past few months. And before he passed away, he promised her, as a fellow medium, they're both mediums, that if one of them went, they would try to communicate with the other from the other side. So she's been waiting for a sign from her brother Louis this whole time, which makes her hesitant to quit her job that she hates and leave Paris and this horrible woman, Kira. And that's kind of it. I mean, there's some hauntings and there's a murder, and but it's an emotional story. It's about the character. It's about how she's feeling, and it's less about plot than it is character, I would say.
Tiptoes in and out of genre really, really well, because on the one hand, she is exploring an abandoned haunted chateau in a very not urban part of France that feels incredibly gothic. It's leaning more on like 1930s horror films like Val Lewton and Lewis Allen than anything else. And then she gets back to Paris on her motorcycle to go, and then becomes like a fashion thriller like Eyes of Laura Mars or Dress to Kill. And you're just like, oh, we're doing both of these seamlessly while also
it's great
keeping an emotional balance to all of this. And like, this movie makes text scary.
Totally. I mean, most of the haunting is that she's getting text messages from a mystery person who may or may not be a ghost, and it's really chilling, actually.
Yeah, and there's so much about this movie that can be read on multiple levels of like, are there hauntings? If there are hauntings, who is the person doing the haunting? Is it this person? Is it this person? Or is it this person? And then additionally, is there not any hauntings? And is this a psychological journey that is being butted up accidentally against like a murder thriller film? Or is it all of the above?
Yeah. I love, of course, the fashion aspect of this movie. I would be hard pressed to think of anyone who is as effortlessly chic as Kristen Stewart is in this movie. And her character, you know, she's the shopper. She's not the supermodel. And she's always wearing just like jeans and sweatshirts and a leather jacket and riding a motorcycle. But everything she wears, she just looks so fucking good in. Like clothes just hang off of her in this way that is so incredible. She's much more chic than the woman that she's shopping for. And there's a really great scene in which the ghost or whoever that's texting her tells her to try on some of Kira's clothes, which she's forbidden to do. Mm-hmm. So she takes her motorcycle to Kira's apartment and tries on this sequins dress that she's not supposed to try on, and Kira's shoes. It's very Daughters of Darkness, like a beautiful sequins gown. And she masturbates in Kira's bed and falls asleep. But it's so good.
I mean, I think that's part of that was one of the biggest elements of this film, that seeing this movie very young and early in transition made me like identify this personally as a trans narrative, because there's a lot of things going on in this movie. One, she is a twin who is mourning the death of her identical male twin brother, which that's kind of like Myra Breckinridge on the nose a little bit from one perspective.
Yeah.
But then additionally, like you mentioned, she's dressed pretty androgynously in this movie. She's mostly wearing like jeans, a leather like bomber jacket, and like riding around her motorcycle wearing like beat up band t-shirts. How Kristen Stewart normally dresses. And then she's getting these mysterious messages that are like pushing her and goading her into like unlocking like desires she won't let herself have, which are expressed through extremely femme clothing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
And
right.
then like
I would never have put that
sexually
together,
pleasuring herself to this ideal version of her that is like more femme, more glamorous, like more than what she is at the moment. And this movie really, for a lot of that, for me at that time, and even now rewatching it, it just like, it only feels like a trans narrative. It really feels like a midpoint of transition of looking back and being like, I'm not that person anymore. I feel bad that that person is gone. I like wish that person was still here with me, but cannot be, and like needs to remain where they are. But additionally, like, I'm not where I want to be by a long shot, and I'm stuck in between these two planes, which again, Ghost stuck between two worlds.
It's so interesting. I never would have put that together, but I can absolutely see that hearing you talk about it. It's kind of mean, this movie, because she misses her brother so much, and she's a medium, and there's multiple scenes where she's in some way communicating with a ghost, whether it's through wrappings on the wall or through text messages.
We visually see some ghosts pretty early on.
Yes, like, we do.
The visual effect
really beautiful,
is incredible, and again, like throwbacks to like the Uninvited, like 40s ghost movies, which is like that's the spooky shit, man.
It is, but I was gonna say that the ghosts keep playing this trick on her where they make her believe that it's Lewis at first, until finally they're honest and they're like, it's not really Lewis. I'm some other ghost, and it's really sad. It really hurts it hurt my feelings a little bit.
But also,
the ghosts are mean to her.
The ghosts are mean to her. But also, let's take a minute to come out of our perspective and step into the ghost shoes for a minute here, Josh. If you were a ghost and you were stuck in a moldy old chateau in the south of France and no one was coming around, and then all of a sudden, glamorous medium Kristen Stewart walks in and is like, Lewis, wouldn't you be like, all right, I'll be Lewis? You just want some company and some attention. Come on.
Absolutely. I would reach out to a glamorous personal shopper played by Kristen Stewart. However, someone recently asked me what kind of ghost I would be, and I was like, I would not be myself as a ghost. Like, if I died and got to be a ghost, I would want to be the ghost of like a Victorian widow, because I'd want to wear like a black widow's dress and like pace a attic or a widow's walk looking out over the sea.
You know,
that's the kind of ghost that I would want to be.
I never think about ghosts in terms of like choice. I don't think about like what kind of ghost do I want. I think about like, you know, like, oh, you died, and then that you at death is like walking around and stuff like that. But I love this like Beetlejuice idea of like, you're gonna be assigned the kind of hunting you're gonna do.
It's employment.
Yeah. You got the chops to be a Victorian ghost, kid. Let's get you some chains and a veil.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how to imitate whooping cough?
I think I just really want to wear like a Victorian morning dress. Is the thing.
It's
like sort of all the
Joshua,
time.
it's 2022. You live in Silver Lake. You're allowed to.
Yeah, I think I would that would be a really great look for me.
It would. Next time you get invited to a chic Hollywood party or premiere, you little industry lady, you go do it.
The other actors in this movie are good, but it's really all about Kristen Stewart, her performance, and by design,
yes.
Right? Like she's the focus of the movie, and she's alone for huge swaths of this. We do get that actor who played Axel in Worst Person in the World, who I love at some point, but it's hard to call out any performances that aren't her because she's so good and is so much the central view of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, again, just like Pearl, this was like, you enjoy working with an actress, you want to be able to showcase this actress. And again, Kristen Stewart is someone like, Twilight aside, people have been negatively commenting on her style of performance since 2002. Like, this has been going on a long time. It's still going on. The entire campaign around Spencer was a lot of people being like, you know, shitting on her.
Right. And I feel like somehow she's been someone like constantly you hear people like Kristen Stewart can really act as if it's a surprise when she's been doing this for like 2 decades now.
Almost as if...
I think it's because of Twilight as the root of her career. People shit on those movies and think of them as juvenile and whatever else, but it's like Twilight was a long time ago. She's a full-grown adult with a whole career since then.
It was, and also like, you know, a lot of acting choices are predicated by the director, and also, she did 5 Twilight movies. They all admitted to phoning in the last few of them. Like, yeah, duh, man. So whenever anyone shits on her, I always point them to this movie. This is the movie that if you don't think Kristen Stewart's a good actress after watching Personal Shopper, you're just a misogynist and wrong.
Yeah, totally. And you're just wrong. I mean, but there's a lot of movies that you could point to. There's this one. There's The Runaways. There's Spencer. She's good in a lot of things. She's really good. And I really genuinely appreciate how she and Robert Pattinson used the notoriety and money, presumably, from their Twilight days to just do whatever the fuck they wanted for the rest of their lives. Like, Robert Pattinson going from Twilight to The Lighthouse or to Good Time or whatever, that's not an accident. He's like, well, I'm making this choice now so I can make the choices that I want to make later. And I think that's the way to play it. Like, how cool is that to be able to do that with your life?
They both very, like, distinctly chose post-Twilight to just go over to Europe and work with art house filmmakers. And they've done an incredible job. They've both done Cronenberg movies.
Yeah,
and
it's
put
true.
in some of their best those two that are both, like, famously known for delivering, like, chilly, refined, and subdued performances. Of course they would do well in a Cronenberg film. That's what he's into. Like, Kristen Stewart's performance in Crimes of the Future, I think, is one of her best.
So good.
It's so good. And it, like, it's very emotionally charged while also, like, suspicious and kind of also walking the lines of eroticism and humor a little bit.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I think she is such a huge talent, and I'm so happy that Personal Shopper is like the big vehicle that we got for her, because there no other film. I guess maybe Spencer, but I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's really good.
I've heard, but Spencer's also a ghost movie.
It is, yeah. It plays like a horror movie. Spencer is funny. She's very good in it, and I don't like biopics, but I did watch Spencer basically for her. But what struck me about Spencer is that it plays as so stressful, but like nothing is happening. So it's like Di gets to the castle for Christmas and she's like, I'm cold. Can anyone turn up the heat? And the music is like, you think you're watching Midsummer or something. The music is like, just because she's cold and like, just like little things like that. But it feels so stressful, but the stakes could not be lower. and it's really she's really good.
I mean, I need to see it. That was another one that like everyone told me it was bad, and then my ex
No,
was
it's
like, my ex while they were moving out was like, you should see Spencer.
Yeah, there's a great scene where she is at dinner with the royal family, of course, and they're eating soup, and she's got this nervous habit of playing with her pearl necklace, and so her neck is like red and scratched from where she's been playing with it, and then the necklace falls apart, and the pearls fall into the soup, and so she just starts eating them with the soup and swallowing them. It's really dark.
Jesus
cool
Christ! Okay,
very like Cronenbergy or something. Yeah, it's really cool.
She loves to eat plastic.
She sure does. She's the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about more a personal shopper without getting into spoiler territory.
Spoilers,
because the final like half hour of this movie is all stuff that like I will say there is a sequence in this movie that I've never forgotten and remains one of the most like experimental and subtle things I've ever seen a contemporary movie do, and it's like super effective. And it is literally just the camera pans across presumably nothing, and you watch automatic doors open on their own. And it is so Hitchcockian, and it is so fucking awesome, and it's so spooky. And it's like the movie is literally being like, yeah, we're doing that. we're doing that.
To clarify, for anyone who can't imagine what Drusilla means, you're essentially watching a ghost walk through a hotel lobby.
Trigger an automatic
elevator.
Trigger
elevator doors and sliding doors open on their own, and it's timed to the pace of someone walking through the lobby. It's so cool and effective.
It reminds me a lot of Hitchcock movies like Rope and stuff like that, where someone will be like, "Oh, so you're saying that they came in and he followed him over there, and then he choked him with the rope over there, and then he stabbed him on the floor," and the camera is like following all of this, where you're just watching a room, nothing is happening, but you're being told that something happened here. It feels just like that, and that's one of my favorite cinematic devices ever. It's so rarely used, but it feels so much more chilling and haunting than watching the thing actually happen, because it feels like a ghost. It feels like a remnant of this thing, like hovering over the space that refuses to leave.
Yeah. One thing I appreciate about this movie, and it might be sort of a dumb thing, or maybe I'm judging myself in the way that I'm about to talk about people judging this industry, but I appreciated how seriously it took the fashion industry and her job as a personal shopper, and how good and competent she was at her job. And the movie does not romanticize the industry or the profession, and it also is not making fun of it or judging it. She's unhappy in her work, partially because of her boss, Kira, who sucks, but also because it's just not really, it's easy for her. But I just appreciated that she's good at it, and you get to see her go to these really high end designers and just this one, she won't like that. Where's the belt for this one? And I don't know, it's just something nice about seeing someone be that competent. And it's nice that the movie doesn't judge fashion, which so many people do, as something that's like trite or frivolous, when in fact it's art and it's important, and it's something that I personally really love and care about. So I just appreciated that aspect of it as like a fashion horror film.
It's handcrafted expression. Of course, it's art. Like it's. Yeah, I love the like seriousness that this movie treats fashion and the concept of spiritualism and ghosts with. Like.
Yeah,
because for as much of this movie does that you're like, is this real or is it not? It's also very much like, again, tracking a ghost through a hotel. It is also like showing you spirits. It is also like suggesting things in the background. There is, I've got to like wait for a minute because it makes me like choke up thinking about it. There is a like ghost kind of presence near the end of this movie.
Yeah. It's really
that
sad.
Appears in the background that is painful. It is like necessary, and for both of the characters' journeys, it is like, you know, the closing of a chapter, but it is so painful to watch, and it is so heartbreaking. And there's so many horror movies of late, and horror TV shows of late that deal with the concepts of ghosts from different perspectives. The Haunting of Hill House, A Ghost Story, Lake Mungo even kind of have different takes on ghosts that Personal Shopper is very much playing with. But I feel like Personal Shopper is expanding past that while also not like reveling in it in a way that I really, really appreciate. It's like it's using I'm going to use fashion metaphors. It's using the outfit. It's using the like drag of a ghost story to talk more about and express more about the like personal journey of like mourning and trauma and grief of Kristen Stewart's character, while also tapping into her personal growth and exploration. And that's like not the like parts of a person's life that get talked about.
Yeah. I mean, this does what the best ghost stories do, which is that the ghost is actually a manifestation of the protagonist's inner struggle in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, The Shining does that. The Haunting of Julia does that. I mean, every Lady in Black does that. Any good ghost story, of which there are like not as many as there ought to be, because there's a lot of bad ghost stories. This is really in that tradition, but doing it in a very sophisticated adult Euro kind of way. I just loved this. Really loved it. It's among my favorites now.
The final scene, it reminds me a lot of the Todd Haynes movie Safe. In its final scene. Because you have Kristen Stewart almost to camera, like pleading for something. And the final lines that she's kind of repeating, much like in Safe, are, is it you, Lewis? Or is it just me? And that is so important to the journey of this movie. And I just...
So sad. It's really moving and sad. I loved it.
I cannot recommend Personal Shopper enough. I recommend tissues. This has been a very like mental health positive episode. Please, like, take a bubble bath before and after watching Personal Shopper. Take care of yourself. And take care of those that you love around you, whether they are having a pulse or not.
What would you do a double feature with of this?
That's a very interesting question. Because there's a number of movies. Because this movie doesn't really play like other movies because of the way it snakes through the genre.
There's nothing else quite like it.
But because of that, I think leaning into that chameleon aspect allows you to program it in different ways. Because you could play this with Eyes of Laura Mars or Dressed to Kill or something like that, which are fashion horror thrillers that this would like easily fit in with.
But also very campy, and there's no camp element to this.
Oh, no.
This is very earnest and very serious.
But then you could also play this with 40s ghost movies. This could be a B picture with The Uninvited, the Ray Milland film.
That's a great double feature.
Which, like,
that's a great one.
I love both of these movies so much. Which, again, the director of The Uninvited is named Lewis, which her brother is, like, named as an homage to, and the ghost spirit that she sees near the beginning of the film is like almost a one-to-one recreation of that original camera effect from the 40s. It's so cool. I like highly recommend that movie. It's a Halloween favorite of mine because it's a super cozy little ghost story and super sapphic.
Loved it.
What about you, Josh? What would you do with this? I feel like there's got to be an emotional double bill for that. Not that I would want to sit through two movies that would make me this sad.
I don't think I can do better than that, honestly. I mean, I can't think. I mean, The Uninvited is it. I think that you nailed it. I don't think I can do better than that.
I mean, I guess you could also do a double bill of like director and subject vehicle horror films and pair this with Pearl.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
I could also see this pairing well with some Lynch films.
Yes.
Like, this could pair well with Inland Empire very, very well.
Yeah. Or Blue Velvet. I mean, any David Lynch movie, really.
Yeah. If you aren't familiar with the work of Olivier Assayas, if you haven't seen, like, Irma Vep or
I haven't. I've seen the new show Irmavep on HBO,
which was written for Kristen Stewart, and she couldn't do it, so she just took a cameo in the last episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
But if you're not familiar with that stuff, and you like Kristen Stewart, I highly recommend starting with this. Josh, you would really love Olivier Assayas's early films from the 90s because they are like youth kind of rebellion movies.
Ooh, I'm gonna go for it.
Definitely
then.
check out Cold Water for that, but he also has a movie that's a little harder to see. It's available in the Assayas box set that Arrow Video put out, which I did the artwork for, called Disorder, which is about a post-punk band in France.
Ooh, love that.
It's great. I love Assayas' movies so very much. I think you would really dig some of his 90s stuff. They're lovely.
Great. Let's play Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly about whether notable figures have seen this feature. I have someone. This is a personal stylist who's not cool like Kristen Stewart is. She's like a very famous personal stylist. She created the boho look that terrorized us all for 10 years. Rachel Zoe. Do you think Rachel Zoe has seen Personal Shopper?
I'm gonna have to seem like a Luddite and a little like dum-dum here. I need you to explain this person to me. I do not know them.
Oh, okay. So Rachel Zoe was the personal stylist to the star in the 2000s. She created the boho look with like the giant grandma sweaters and the big chunky necklace, like the multiple chunky necklaces and bracelets, the way that Mary-Kate Olsen dressed for so long. She's responsible for that look. And she had a reality show on Bravo eventually called The Rachel Zoe Project. And her tagline was bananas.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she has not seen Personal Shopper.
I think that's likely. Although I think she is cool.
Yeah.
That is a cool look. It got overplayed, but like she did create a look that lasted for 10 years, which is not a small thing.
No. And like sounds like a very creative, but also like, I don't know, this movie hasn't been very accessible, which is, unless you are a Kristen Stewart stan or very up to date on European art house films or a Criterion fanatic, like at least I am, it's run under people's radars. It didn't have a big marketing campaign. It wasn't pushed the way that A24 pushes kind of character-driven horror movies like this. And it didn't have a big, launch and release. So I feel like if she's heard of it, she's heard people talk about Kristen Stewart in the title, or she's seen it like pop up on like some streaming library or something and seen the name Personal Shopper, and it probably just has the immediate thing of like, oh, well, that's going to get the job. All wrong. Which, I would love to see like, that was a real like missed opportunity in building DVD special features for this. They should have gotten a lot of like New York, LA, London, French, like personal shoppers to sit down and like talk about.
Yeah, I wonder if we went onto YouTube if there's like a personal shopper reacts video.
Personal shopper ending explained.
Yeah. Who do you guys hit me with some?
The first person that I am thinking about is someone who also does what Kristen Stewart does in this movie for a living, but not being a personal shopper. Someone who is a medium for their job and also has a TV show based on the success of their job. And also makes movies about their search for ghosts and connection with the afterlife. Do you think Zach Baggins has seen seen Personal Shopper?
100% yes.
Do you think Zach Baggins likes Personal Shopper, or do you think he has notes?
I think he thought it was boring. I want to see what he looks like. I am looking at
my ex would always describe him as like a Midwestern like football jock who turned goth in his 30s.
He's got that really unfortunate, shiny, almost like faux hawk, but not faux hawk, like fake messy hair.
He looks
wet all the time.
He looks like if you imagined a member of Sum 41 today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he drives around a
I'm gonna change
hearse, and he has like his little like museum of like haunted objects, and he's got like 3 different TV shows.
Oh my God, Drusilla, I just came across, he has a book called Ghost Hunting for Dummies, which is like in the blank for dummies format with like the yellow and green design.
Well, you're buying that, obviously.
Add to cart. I'm gonna say no, actually. He's too much of a dork to have seen this like sophisticated, cool movie.
He is kind of he's a dork and like a ghost nerd. And I mean, my whole thing is that like I have an ex who was very into his show, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures is the name of his show. I do not mean to slander the name of Baggins in this show. I apologize.
He's the kind of dude. I mean, he has like what's that diners and drive-ins guy?
Guy Fieri.
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
He's the
kind
Guy
of
Fieri
like a middle-aged
horror.
man who wears a leather bracelet. Yeah.
He's got his team of bros, and they have all their EVP equipment, and they go to haunted sites in the Midwest, and they go spooking around. And they've been doing this for like 15, 20 years. And my whole thing is that like you can watch an episode of that show from season 1 when they just started doing this, or you can watch an episode of that from 2022 when they've been doing this for 20 some years. And their reaction to a creak in floorboards is the same every single time. Of holy shit, guys! Oh my god! What the fuck was that over there? Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh god! Oh god! Okay, is there a spirit? Like, you guys have been doing this for a long time. You're professionals.
Yeah.
How are you still surprised and scared that there might be ghosts here?
You'd think that you'd get over it, right? Like, even if you saw a ghost, if you saw me as the widow ghost just walking like in person, you'd be like, it's just the job.
That's the thing.
Which makes you...
They're
just doing it for the camera.
Yeah, I have seen things, I believe, and I have friends who've seen a lot of things, and they're just, like, bored at this point. Like, I have a friend who, like, when in college saw the spirit of someone hanging, like, directly in front of them when they were walking, and they were just like, fuck off, and, like, walked through it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's the energy, like... I don't think Zach Baggins would finish Personal Shopper. I think he would fall asleep. Not in the way that you did, respectfully.
That we did.
I think it's too slow for him.
Yeah, it's just too slow, too sophisticated. He wasn't even at the beach all day long like I was. I have somebody, this is a fashion legend. This is a person who recently passed away, so might be watching Personal Shopper now for all we know as a ghost. This is a person... very well connected in the world of fashion and art, and spent the last days of their life in Paris. This is the one, the only, Andre Leon Talley. Do you think that he saw Personal Shopper?
Once again, I know so little about the fashion industry that I know very little about this person. However, I will say, I strongly believe that he's absolutely seen Personal Shopper, but he didn't see Personal Shopper until he was a ghost.
I think you might be right. I think he did know Kristen Stewart because he worked for Vogue for his whole career.
When did he pass?
2020, I think.
Okay, then he could have seen it living. He could. He probably definitely saw it alive.
He was one of the editors of Vogue for many years and a stylist, and he lived in Paris for the last 20 years of his life.
Oh, he definitely saw Personal Shopper then.
I feel like he saw it, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely saw it.
I think he would have really liked it, too.
I think, I definitely.
I mean, not many people are as sophisticated as Andre Leon Talley was just on God's green earth, so I feel like he would have liked it.
I feel like this movie is very much for... like older people in the fashion industry that are very hoity-toity and artsy-fartsy that do live in Europe. Like, that is who this movie is for. And then the other people that this movie is for are people who aspire to be that.
Yeah, I mean, this is an art house horror podcast, but this movie really is at the top of, like, have a charcuterie plate, pour a glass of wine, put on your cream-colored turtleneck. We're going to watch Personal Shopper. Like, this is very sophisticated.
This movie has its pinky out the entire runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what horror fans I would recommend this to, but I do know my friends who love this movie are generally not horror people. They're more on the art house side.
Yeah, which is something that I appreciate about this movie because there's so few. I mean, as we talk about on the show a lot, the bridge between horror in art house spaces and art house in horror spaces is like very shaky at times, and we get very little art house in horror and even less horror in art house, and both seem to not like the other. And so this one being such an art house forward movie, but it's always surprising to me how much this movie lives within genre spaces, that it does genuinely surprise me.
It is a horror movie.
It is very much. It's a very scary movie.
Yeah. And
I'm incredibly desensitized to shit like this. I mean, I talk to friends who are in the horror space and love Kristen Stewart and also, you know, are getting more into art house films through things like, you know, Pearl and Midsummer and shit like that. And every single time I'm like, oh, have you seen Personal Shopper? They're like, no, not yet. And I'm like, you're ready. It's time. You need to do it. Yeah. My second ask is also someone who is now dead.
Okay, great.
And who also only would have gotten a chance to see this movie as a ghost. But is also someone who is like very famous, like Kristen Stewart, for like being a figure of fashion, like having everything just hang on her beautifully. And someone who is very closely tied into Kristen Stewart of late. Do you think the ghost of Princess Diana has seen Personal Shopper?
Yes, because she would have seen Spencer, obviously, out of curiosity. Mm-hmm. And then she would have been like, who is this Kristen Stewart? And then looked her up on Ghost IMDb.
Yes, GIMDb.
Yeah, and then went to Ghost HBO Max and watched Personal Shopper. 100%. Can we just agree that all sophisticated ghosts post 2016 have seen Personal Shopper?
Yeah,
I mean,
like the ghost of Alfred Hitchcock has seen Personal Shopper. Like, yeah. The ghost of Picasso has seen Personal Shopper. The ghost of Socrates.
Yeah.
Ghosts love this movie. It's such great representation of a marginalized community.
The ghost community stands Personal Shopper, and so do we. That's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked us, rate us on all the things. Email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on socials. Drusilla, where can people find you?
My website is over at sisterhidedesign.com, so all my posters and new updates are over there, and you can get in contact with me over there as well if you would like some art or design in your life. But also, my social medias are all over at Hyde Sister, the inverse of my Sister Hyde kind of persona. I'm slowly creeping back into social media platforms like Instagram right now. So who knows? You might see me on there. You might not, but I appreciate a follow nonetheless. What about you, Josh?
I am at Joshua Conkle at Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Now, Drusilla, what are we watching next week?
Next week, we have a very special guest who has brought us a movie that is a whole new medium that we have never delved into before, and I cannot wait to have some eye-searing, beautiful popping off visuals in Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue.
Yay! This will be my first anime that's not a Miyazaki, I'm pretty sure.
Good.
I can't wait. Yeah, can't wait. Thank you. Bye-bye.